Welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with something very special. The Jason Isbell Telecaster pickup set from Fender. So Jason Isbell is a wonderful singer, songwriter, and guitarist. I've seen him play live. It was amazing. He actually inspired some of the songs on my very soon upcoming album, Over the Streetlights to the Stars. So suffice to say, I'm a big fan, and I've always wanted his signature Telecaster. But as someone who has, at the moment, about 10 Telecaster style guitars, including an American original custom Telecaster, which is very similar to his, I have a hard time justifying the space and the budget for that one as much as I love it. So suffice to say, I was thrilled the other day when I got a text from Fender while driving home from work, letting me know I could now purchase the Jason Isbell pickups as a standalone option, and I bought them as soon as it was safe to do so that day, and here they are. So I'm going to put these in to the Squier Affinity Thinline Telecaster, which was in my most recent video before this. In fact, I kind of got that guitar, even though I've never had a Thinline Tele before that and wanted to try one out. I kind of got it largely to put these pickups in it because I'm happy with, happy or have very specific plans, I should say, for the pickup configuration in my other Teles, but I thought this would be perfect to take that guitar to the next level. And of course, I'll probably add a Fender neck and other things going forward, but getting these pickups in it is the biggest and the first step. And I'm just really excited to try them out. Let me read from the back of the box here to let you know a little bit more about them. Voiced by Tone Guru Tim Shaw, the custom designed Jason Isbell signature Telecaster pickups boast vintage style components wound hot with a touch of sparkle for the best of both Tele and Strat sounds. The bridge position is based on Jason's Candy Apple Red 65 Telecaster pickup and delivers the twang, sparkle, and fire Jason is known for. The neck pickup uses a slightly taller bobbin that allows for more winds, providing a touch of Stratocaster character. So these are $149.95, which is about typical for non-custom shop high-end Fender Telecaster pickup sets. And let me just let you know that some of the specs here. The neck pickup, the DC resistance is 6.3K. The bridge pickup DC resistance is 6.7K. Inductance on the neck is 2.1 Henrys, and it is 2.8 on the bridge. And let me just crack open the box here and show you the pickups a little more closely. They do have a slight road-worn finish like his guitar does, which look great. They feature the gray wire, which is period correct for 60s Telecaster pickups. If you're familiar with Tele neck pickups, you can definitely tell that this is slightly taller. Alnico 5 magnets. Let's see if we can get a good shot here. You can tell it has the traditional stagger. I believe, and if someone knows for sure, and I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments below, I believe this is a steel base plate with copper plating. And it does have the enamel wire. I will say that I do prefer the cloth pushback wire, but these are already stripped. So it should be very easy to install, because that's actually why I prefer the cloth pushback wire. You just need to push it back as opposed to getting out the wire strippers, which sometimes on these narrow wires can be a little more finicky than others. So, oh, and let me show you as well, since we have the box open here, we have the mounting screws, and this is always appreciated, even though this is about as straightforward as it gets, a pickup wiring diagram. So let's get these beauties in this Tele, see what they can do, and just listen to what an upgrade they are over the stock Squier pickups. Okay, the pickups are in, very easy to wire, and no problems there, standard Telecaster stuff. I like that the tips of the wire were pre-stripped, so that made it really easy to do, good length for everything. Even on this Thinline where it's a little bit further away from the neck pickup. And then the cavities of this guitar made it easy to wire up to. The only thing I ran into a little bit of an issue with is that this pickup is taller than a typical Telecaster neck pickup. And because of that and the shape, it was hard to get it in this pick guard. It either would wiggle in and go all the way up to where it was almost be touching the strings, or it wouldn't go in at all. So I had to take a pocket knife and shave the opening a little bit, then sand it down to make it smooth. But you can't even, there's some glare there, tell that I did anything. So interestingly, when I was trying to originally put a twisted Tele neck pickup in a bullet Telecaster pick guard during the, you may have seen my bullet Telecaster upgrade series, I had the same problem. Ended up putting it in a classic vibe baritone, which I had no problems with. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I'm going to get you some sounds now. I recorded some clips with the original Squier ceramic magnet pickups. We'll compare that with these Jason Isbell Fender Alnico 5 pickups. And what I'm going to do is no blind samples today. You're going to know what you're hearing. Each set of samples is going to start off with the stock pickups. Then you will hear the Jason Isbell pickups. I'll be going through a Marshall DSL one head on the classic gain channel, mids and bass on 5, treble on 6. The cab will be a 2x12 Black Star mic'd with an SM57. And the clean sounds will just be the classic gain channel. I'm going to kick on a JHS Mike Campbell overdrive for some overdrive sounds. EQs are 5 on the pedal. Gain is 5, volume is about 3. Then I'll kick that off, give you some distortion sounds with the JHS Angry Charlie, which the bass is 5, mid is 6, treble is 7, gain about 5, volume about 4. So you'll hear the original stock pickups first, then the Jason Isbell pickups. And we'll see how it goes. And we are back. I hope that was helpful. One thing that usually does impress me in these videos is how good these stock pickups sound. I thought they sounded great, but I definitely thought, both listening to the clips and especially in the room, the Jason Isbell pickups sounded better. The Jason Isbell pickups, I thought, especially, well, I'll start with the bridge. The bridge, I think the bridges were more similar than the necks, which would make sense since the neck is constructed a little bit differently than a traditional Telecaster pickup. Thought it was a little bit fatter, a little more, all the buzzwords, sparkle, a little more complex sound. I liked the way that it still had bite without being harsh, some good mid-range. But again, the stock pickup sounded really good, but I definitely think the Jason Isbell bridge pickup sounded better. I'd say similar things about the middle positions. The stock pickup sounded good, but this just sounded better. Fuller, a more complex sound, and I thought it sounded great. And output was probably close, definitely closer on the bridge pickups as opposed to the neck pickups, which, speaking of which, this pickup was definitely, I thought, a big improvement over the neck pickup in the Squier, but I think it would be the stock pickup in the Squier, I should say. But I think it would be a big improvement over a lot. And I'm someone who actually likes a traditional Telecaster neck pickup. I know some people don't, but this one is a fantastic one. It does remind me some of the Twisted Tele. A lot of the Twisted Tele, actually. It's got more output than a stock pickup. It's fuller sounding. Does have more Strat character. It says for both pickups, it says on the label something about sparkle. And I would actually agree with that. I think that makes for a more interesting sound. But I absolutely loved it. And that was definitely an upgrade. So $150 is, not inexpensive, but I think that if you're looking to get the best out of one of your Teles, these pickups would be a great way to go. So what to compare it to? I've tried more Tele pickups than I can think of off the top of my head over the years. Probably the most direct comparison would be to the Pure Vintage 64 pickups that are stock in my American original Telecaster. And I don't want to say for sure because obviously they're not in the same guitar, and we have one that's semi-hollow and one that's solid body. But I think I actually like these pickups a little bit better than the Pure Vintage 64 pickups, which these are based on a 65 Telecaster, so that's why they're similar. But I think of all the vintage output Telecaster pickups I played, these might be my favorite. I think the bridge pickup is a little fuller, little bit, because when you compare it to something like a hotter, non-traditional output Tele pickup like a Seymour Duncan Hot Lead or Quarter Pound, that's a different sound entirely. Or something that's kind of in between the two, like the Hot for Tele Lindy Fralin pickups, which I have in the bridge position of my Telecaster Custom Ventera. Those are all great pickups, but for a traditional Telecaster sound, 60s sound especially, this might be my favorite. And of course, the neck pickup, though it's has a vintage similar output, is a little louder and a little fuller. It is a little more like a Strat pickup, and it's fantastic. I think the American Vintage, or Pure Vintage rather, 64 neck pickup is wonderful and a more pure traditional Telecaster sound. I have no complaints about that one. But this one is probably a little better in my opinion. So I would highly recommend this set. And those are, if you buy the Pure Vintage aftermarket, they're the exact same price as the Jason Isbell. So I think maybe if I was like a country player, a traditional country player, I might lean a little more towards the Pure Vintage. But for me, I've always loved the neck pickup and love the bridge pickup for what it is. Perfect, the Pure Vintage 64 pickups, for what it's supposed to be. But the thing is, what I like is a little bit different. And maybe in a few months I might have something different in there. But that's a ways down the road, if at all. But trying to think of other comparisons. The VMod 2 pickups, which I have in a parts caster from the American Professional 2, I absolutely love. Again, it's kind of hard since this is a thin line and not a true solid body, but the V-mods might be a little bit hotter. I love those. I prefer those to the pure vintage 64s myself, and I think they're 190. I'd have to play this more to tell and play them back and forth some, but I'm just giving you some options. Of course, there's great aftermarket pickup manufacturers like Seymour Duncan and Lindy Fralin and DiMarzio and Bare Knuckle and all kinds. And of course, Joe Barden, which are not traditional in style. I love his Danny Gatton pickups, which, you know, my hero Bruce Springsteen plays, and all his Teles live now. But you really can't go wrong with the Jason Isbell set. If you're looking for traditional Tele sound with a little bit more character, and as someone who loves Jason Isbell and his music, seeing him play live was amazing. I just saw him play his signature Tele, which had these pickups, I presume, in it on national television the other night at the DNC, and sounded great. And these are just great pickups. I'm really, really happy that Fender is making them as an option you can buy without having to just buy the guitar. So thank you, Mr. Isbell, for all the great music and the great pickups. Thank you, Fender, for making them and for making them a standalone option. And thank you all for watching. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, keep on rocking.